Hey there, thanks for checking out the Christian Media Marketing Show. My name is John, and I am honored to spend some time with you today to talk through social media marketing. Not any type. We at Kavanaugh are not in the business, as you would think, of, trying to sell business stuff. We're not trying to sell anything. We're just trying to leverage technology, media, marketing principles to be able to make Jesus known in the places where he has never been heard yet. And there are many of them. There are many places in the world where Jesus' name has never been heard. I was in China at one point at a time filming and going through in some villages in a place where I would speak to them in Chinese and I would ask them, 你认识耶稣吗? Do you know who Jesus is? And they would say, 这是什么? What is that? Not who, but what. And that reality really hits home that there are so many in the world who have never yet, even once, heard the name of Jesus. So that's what this show is about. That's what Kavanaugh Media is about. We are a business's mission, but the only people that we put our hand to the plow with are people like you. Mission organizations, mission teams, churches, Christians around the world trying to make Jesus famous. And for that, we are thankful for all that you do. Now, in today's show, I want to talk to you a little bit. And for those of you watching the YouTube show, not just listening to the podcast, you'll be able to see as I walk through this. I will be showing you a technique, a tool that I've known about for quite a while, but I learned a new thing in it. And it's good enough. I actually canceled my subscription as a company to a different one. But before we get going there, thank you for all of you who continue to let me know that you've been praying for the travels. We've got one more big trip. We'll be leaving tomorrow. We have 7 new teams that we get to partner with their organization to help them launch using social media marketing. And we're excited for those teams. We're excited to continue to partner with this organization. We do have one more training that's coming up. We'll be doing a training in Asia where we have, I think, 3 different mission organizations coming together there. It'll be a 5-day training starting from the very beginning all the way through. Lord willing, we'll be launching and being able to see how our responders are responding, how the ads are doing, and we just pray that God will bless those efforts there. If we can serve you in some way, we are always happy to do that. So make sure you reach out on our website, KavanaughMedia.com. We have a lot of ad resources on there, just a lot of things we're trying to give away to help you. Now, let's dive into the training part that I want to share with you today. I'll give you a little backstory here, and then we're going to jump right into my computer screen and work through an example that I want to show to you. About, a year, 2 years ago, we did a thing, I think it was back in late November, early December, probably about a year ago, where I demoed using Typeform. And Typeform is the ability to ask a question, and then depending upon what way they answer it, the next question will pop up. And you can embed these right on your website. It's a great tool. I still like it. We have just transitioned away from it because of what I'm going to be sharing with you today, which has saved us quite a bit of money to be able to do that. It was a paid piece of software, and I really liked it because it was filling a gap that we didn't have yet in our own efforts that we are doing in certain places around the world, which is I didn't want a static landing page. I want people to be able to see a video or whatever it might be, scripture, whatever it is there on that landing page, and then be able to respond to it. And so as they would respond, that gives us better insights as to just who they are, what they're interested in, what they're looking for. Now, one of our major partners, Jesus Film, is working on some amazing software called Next Steps. I demonstrated it here just a few weeks ago. They're making some tremendous inroads into continuing that software along. And I'll give you just an example of why I'm excited about what that's going to be for people. You can use videos from YouTube or whatever. You'll be able to use your own videos. That's amazing. So user-generated content. You can have these swipe cards that will have the questions that will pop up, and then you can press a button and it will take you then to that next card. We're using it already in one country in Central Asia region. And yeah, we have people meeting face to face. In fact, we've been running this ad in one city with a great team there that we're getting to partner with. In fact, they're one of our key partners in a one-to-many effort that we're doing in their location. And we have had now 6 people who will be meeting face-to-face. One of them is meeting again already. They've met once, they're already meeting again with that follow-up person. And the key there was the people responded to the ad. It was a prayer ad. How can we pray for you? Then when they would give a prayer request, the responder was able to pray for them right there. They're doing all of this in Echo Global, and then send them a link to these next step cards that were just 3 or 4 cards specifically made about the subject that they were asking prayer about. So I'm really excited about that. And so when that tool becomes widely available, I can't wait for it. But I think what I want to share with you today can augment that. And it is this ability, the reason we paid for Typeform was that logic flow. So depending on which question they would answer and how they would answer, it could bring up a different question. And this was a key thing. So a friend of mine at Jesus Film, Aaron, got me onto that, and I started using that. But we canceled that subscription because Google Forms can now do the same thing. And so you can go into your Google account under Forms and create one that allows people to choose an answer to a question, and then depending upon what they choose, that will then bring up the next question to them. Sound interesting? All right. Well, let me jump in here. For those of you who are listening on the podcast, I'll try to explain it for you, but this is another one of those that I would love for you. You can go to our KavanaughMedia.com site, click under podcast, and there'll be the link right there to our YouTube page, or you can just check us out. It's a new account. It's nothing big, nothing special there, just our new YouTube account that we are putting these training videos on. So I'm going to dive in, and here we go. So we are on our Google Doc account that we have, and I just typed in forms.google.com, and then it logged me in, and you're seeing, if you're watching this here, a page that has some templates that are already built. There's some forms that we've already built. I'm going to show you one here in just a second, but the key here is that you can start literally with just a blank form and build this out. So you're going to log in and then start to build. And so that's what this one is right here. This is an example of a form that I have built. So this allows you, I'm just going to work my way from the top to the bottom and left to right here. This allows you to change the questions, the colors, a lot of this. So starting with, let me just do this. We'll go back here. I'm going to click on a blank form and bring it up. So this is what it looks like at first, right? Just untitled form. You're going to bring your question in. And then there's these options over here to change some of this formatting that will be on the right side. And so what you can do is make a title for your form, and then we'll call it test right here. And then these are the questions that pop up underneath. Here's what you need to do. Instead of choosing multiple choice, you're going to pick a drop down. And then we have like here option 1, and we'll say this one's option 2, and great. Now when you do this, then what you're going to do is you need to create a place for these options that they choose to go to. And so there's some different ways that you can do this. You can add a new section to it. All right. You can go to section based on an answer. And that's what we have right here. So when I do that, it says, all right, if they click option 1, continue to the next section. If you pick option 2, it would go to that one. Now, you can create questions in your Google Docs. You can change your forms. You can add an image. You can add video to this. Think about that. You could make some videos, maybe a Lumo video, something like that, put these questions. But I'm going to click here where it says add section. And then when I do that, this section, we'll just call this option 1. I'm going through this one just fast for you. So it's going to open up a new one. If you're listening to the podcast, right underneath it, you can see both things here, option 1. And then at that point, I can put a couple questions. So I could say, let's say this one is blue, and then I'll come down here and I'm going to say this one is red. Great. So then if I come back up here, this one on the very top of the form, here's this option in the drop-down menu. And if they click option 1, what I can put is, if you click over to the right, it'll give you the option of where they're going to go. And so here I picked right down here, go to section 2. But let's say if they pick option 2, where it's just going to go straight to submit form. And then on this one, when we come down here on all of these forms right down here, we can make this, once again, this can be a drop down, all right? And then when they do that, that's what allows me to pick where they go, all right? And so if they pick blue, then it's going to go to submit form. If they pick red, it's going to go to submit form, all right? So really simple. Let me show you a couple things that you can do with it as well. You can change the colors. You can change the font. You can put your own header on it, which is what I've done on the other one over there. And then you can embed it. So you could email it to people. You can do it so there's a link. You can even shorten the link that they have there and send it or put it on a page, or you can embed it as an iframe. All right, and that's a really cool way to be able to share it. You can even share it here on social media. All right, so that's cool, but there's a couple other things you're going to want to do. Before you do this, you're going to want to go to settings, and you're going to want to go down in here and pick, do you want to collect email addresses? No. I mean, you might, but you don't have to. All right, so this one's turned off. Response editing, you can turn that off or on, but make sure you do this one. This is automatically restricting it only to people in your organization, which that might be what you want, but I'm going to turn that one off because once it's turned off, now you can embed the form. There's also options about what they see, if there's a progress bar, or if you had questions, shuffling the order. You can change the confirmation message, right? The default is just your response has been recorded. But all of these things can be modified. And then when you click on this little preview button, you can see your one. So here you go. Untitled question, option 1. I pick that up. I hit next. And then I can choose here, blue or red. I'm going to pick blue. And then I hit submit. Boom. Your response has been recorded. Well, let's look at this over here from this one that I've already built out. This is just asking you, hey, here's an example. And pick one area that you would like to see more training and podcast on. This is just an example one, but Meta products, Google ads, other platform training, copywriting, headlines, and content. And as you can see, if you're watching the YouTube video, each of these takes people to a different section. And then each of these sections have questions or ones that they can choose as well. And then after that section, if they picked, let's say, Meta products, and they picked then Instagram Reels, then they would submit the form. Google Ads training, Google search, YouTube ads, keyword searching, other platforms, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit. This is just meant to, it took me literally 5 minutes to make this. I put this header banner on here, and then I went over, changed it so anybody could see it, got the embed code, and then if you go to our website, it's not listed in the menu, but if you go to podcast_questions, you'll see this page that we have demoed here on the YouTube video. So here it is, built into our website. And so pick one area that you would like to see more training and podcast on. So I'm going to pick Google Ads Advanced Training. I hit the next button. There's the next question. You see how nothing's changing on the page. It's right. It's formatted perfectly. Then I'm going to put on here YouTube ads. I'm going to hit submit. And then it's going to say, thanks so much for sharing your thoughts. Done. And now if I go back in to that form, I can see the responses of what people are saying. And so you can begin to see what kind of answers if you're doing a question. But if you are asking questions about a video about Jesus, then these buttons could be ones that could take them to more content. Or it could be a thing that says, click here to talk to us more. Click on the message button below. Or click here to learn something new. Or you could put links to those things up there. Because in these forms, there's a lot of different things that you can do with them. I've shown you doing a drop down, but there are multiple choice, check boxes. You can do file uploads that people can do. Multiple choice grids, checkbox grids, linear scale, short answer, paragraph, all sorts of stuff that you can do. But the thing that I like the most is that you can allow people to go from one question and answer to one that is then related to it. That is that logic flow, and that's what really makes it pretty neat that you can do. All right. So I hope that that will be a tool that you want to look into. Some you want to try. Think through ways where you might use it in your context to help better understand people, your seekers that are coming to you, maybe to help better understand just what kind of questions or things that they are interested in, and then allow you to retarget them. Because we have embedded this on our website, then we can put the tracking pixels on there and really start to build out from that as well. All right, so hopefully that's a benefit to you. If you have other ideas or if you use this, we would love to hear from you and to hear how you are using this to make Jesus famous where you are at. As always, thanks so much for just spending some time with me today. Thank you for praying for our business's mission. We love you all. We are praying for each and every one of you that we know by name, and for even those of you who we don't know who you are. God does, and we are so thankful to partner with you in any way we can. Until next time, take care and God bless.